Republicans are gaining ground, according to recent polls, causing some big names for the Democratic Party to appear on the campaign trail. Former President Obama stopped in Arizona before campaigning with President Biden in Pennsylvania, just two of the major swing states in this midterm election, along with Ohio, Wisconsin, Nevada, and Georgia. In their appearances, both have been campaigning on the future of American democracy.
This election isn't a referendum, it's a choice. It's a choice between two fundamentally different visions of America.
You got election deniers serving as your governor, as your senator, as your secretary of state, as your attorney general, then democracy as we know it may not survive.
Most major analysts agree that Georgia is going to be a major bellwether for the outcome of races across the country, with two major contests: the gubernatorial election between incumbent Brian Kemp and former state rep and activist Stacey Abrams, as well as the senatorial race between pastor and incumbent Raphael Warnock and former football player Herschel Walker. The senatorial race has stayed in the forefront of national interest as controversy surrounding Walker has caused his public support to falter. Most recently, news broke that Walker, a staunch anti-abortion candidate, paid for his at-the-time girlfriend to have an abortion in 2009. Warnock, meanwhile, has largely stayed away from negative press and attacks on his opponent, rather focusing on his accomplishments since his victory in a special runoff election early last year. Another outside challenger from the Republican Party is making strides in Ohio, J.D. Vance. Best known for his memoir Hillbilly Elegy, Vance is campaigning as a self-described conservative outsider, though having the backing of major right-wing figures such as Tucker Carlson and former President Donald Trump. His opponent, Tim Ryan, a Democratic House member that has represented Ohio for nearly 20 years, has roots in the center-right, distancing himself from the Biden administration and highlighting his support for some of former President Trump's policies, making for an incredibly close ideological race. And just next door is what has been the most heavily publicized race of this midterm season, the Pennsylvania Senate race between Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman and TV personality Mehmet Oz. Fetterman has faced a slew of attack ad campaigns and ableist interviews, specifically targeting a stroke he suffered earlier this year.
Will this impact how you do your job if elected? For example, will you need potentially accommodations like this on the Senate floor?
I don't think it's going to have an impact. I feel like I'm going to get better and better every day. And by January, I'm going to be, much better. And Dr. Oz is still going to be a fraud.
Meanwhile, Oz has faced criticism for aligning himself with former President Donald Trump, as well as allegedly not actually living within the state of Pennsylvania. Tonight will be an incredibly close contest, with all of these races helping to give an answer to the big question: what will be the future of U.S. elections?
When you have a former president who went around saying that the only way he could lose an election is if there was fraud, think about what an outrageous statement that is. People fought and died against Hitler, against authoritarian governments, in order to make sure that in this country, it is the people who determine the future of our nation. And that you have people right now who are trying to undermine American democracy is really outrageous.